All right, I think we're ready to ride. All right. So love is perfect. People are not perfect. And this is a simple thing you understand, that once we can deal with this subject, you will enjoy your marriage. When you come into the institution called marriage, understanding that nobody is perfect, you are not perfect, your partner is not perfect. I think one of the challenges we have in our present day society is people coming into marriage and expecting perfection. You expect, because of some of the things we've heard, all right, that the person is coming to complete you. The person, like the religious ones will say, like we normally say in the church, the bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh. So there is this assumption that I'm going to meet an angel, I'm going to meet my heaven sent, I'm going to meet the one who is going to complete me. And people tend to come into marriage believing that whoever they're going to meet will never have any form of imperfection, because you just know that, this is the right person. Especially when you have gone through probably 10, 15, 21 days of prayer and fasting in the mountain, and you have seen revelation that this person is going to be your husband and your wife. But now you get married and you start noticing some things in his life or his character or his or her personality that does not agree with what you wish. You now start asking, didn't I pray well? And you see people get married and wishing they were single. And this is because you are not yet ready to accept the reality of marriage, that people ain't perfect. And even at that, love can be perfect. Why is love perfect? Love is perfect because it is only love that helps you sustain a home. It's only love that helps you keep a marriage to end towards part. It's only love that makes you, even when you think of divorce and separation, but because you have made a choice to come into this new union, you tell yourself, I'm not looking back. All right. The foundation of choosing who to spend the rest of your life with is understanding that nobody is perfect. Let's settle it in our mind this moment. Nobody is perfect. You see, why a lot of people are still single is because they are looking for Mr. and Miss Perfect. All right, you meet somebody today, you say, she's too short for my liking. You meet him tomorrow, you say, he doesn't have a good business, or his job is not paying well. You meet another person next tomorrow, you say, he has a bit of hot temper. You meet another person, say, he's not Yoruba, he's not Igbo, oh, he's not this, he's not that. You are locked up in that box of looking for a perfect partner. But if I am permitted to break your bubbles this afternoon, there is never a perfect person on earth. And it is even a beautiful thing when you notice people's weaknesses while you are single and you made a choice to love and accept them the way they are, that you didn't even notice anything at all, just to get married and then the breaking news, this is who you got married to. And you'll be like, wow, was it the same person that I said I do? And people will get married and tell you that he wasn't like this, she wasn't like this while we were dating. I don't know what happened to him. No, they've always been like that. It's just that you are blinded with love, that you did not realize that this is who they are. All right. So understanding that people are not perfect is a foundation of building a happy home, a sustainable home, a lasting home. A great relationship is not about finding perfection, but embracing imperfection. When you get back home, you get married to your husband, you're the person that likes everything to be where they used to be or where they ought to be. And you get married to this man that he comes back home and he throws one of his shoes in the parlor and throws the other one in the sitting room and throws his chair on the chair, and and he eats and makes noise where he's eating. There are a lot of things that would suddenly start irritating you, and it gets worse when you let that person understand that you don't like this thing, but yet they cannot help it. You get frustrated, you get depressed, you start murmuring, you start having issues because you don't just like the way she scatters everything in the house. She just fling everything. She's just carefree, and you complain about those things. You get married to someone, you keep something on the table, before you come back, they have removed it, and you don't even know where they kept it. And even when they come in, they can't tell you why they kept it. Double wahala for that body. All right. It can actually be very frustrating. All right. But the truth is, you have to learn how to embrace people with their weaknesses. You complain. You see some of those, will I call it stupid now or whatever? I wouldn't want to call it stupid because it's something that happened in marriages, all right? But you see some of these issues where you hear complaint. A lady will say, or a man will say, and the way they used to put toothpaste, when you want to take toothpaste, they start in the middle, you like starting from the under, and people start having issue. I don't like the way you press this toothpaste, so I don't have, and it becomes an issue. Something you just need to understand, that in marriage, you must learn how to embrace people's imperfection. What do I do if he's the one that scatters things in the house? What do I do if she's the one that scatters things everywhere? I must learn how to help him. Oh, he's done it again. You just put on that smile. You go and keep the shoe where it's supposed to be. You do the toothpaste the way you like it to be. You've told him about it, but you keep doing it. Like Jesus will always say, 70 times 7. If you keep doing it consistently, someday your partner will realize, yes, though my partner, my husband, my wife is doing this, they don't like it. That's why they keep arranging it for me. It's gotten to a time that I need to learn my lessons and do things appropriately. No, so whether they change or they don't change, make a choice that when you marry, you're going to find imperfection in the life of your partner. And what is your job? Your assignment is to embrace that imperfection. Your assignment is not to tell your wife, you talk too much. You go outside, you talk. And you guys, you make her become scared of talking because of the way you relate with her. All right, so you must learn how to accept, people's imperfection. The book of Hebrews chapter 4 verse 15. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 15a. The Bible tells us, for we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses. Understand, everybody has their own. Even you are complaining about someone else's weaknesses, you carry your own for body. You can. So see, understanding that you are not perfect, we should give you room to accommodate some other people's imperfection. Understanding you are not perfect. I know the story of this lady that got married to a guy. The guy, used to smoke. Then he said he was not going to smoke again. But then after marriage, he got smoking. What they call it, colos. Yeah, he used to be on colos. And after taking these colos, the guy was not misbehaving. She would have to go and carry the guy, bundle the guy back home. You get? And like, this is a sacrifice that she made over the years until the guy had to stop colos over time. All right. Now, if some other people say, you are now on colos, you're a madman, useless man. Before you know, the woman will carry her property and her children and leave the marriage. All right, simply because you cannot accommodate somebody's weakness, somebody's limitation, somebody's imperfection. There are people that have their own. It is a lot. All right, it's a lot. I am not advocating for us to tolerate every shit that people bring in, but I'm just saying that you must make up your mind when you are getting married that you're going to be committed to accept your partner's weaknesses and limitations. Embrace them, and in embracing them you can help them out. When you do the right things, over time they possibly will learn and they will change, and your home will be a blessed one. And if you are single, so you just stop running away from people anytime you discover something you don't like about them. If you keep that way, that means it's better to remain single than to even think of getting married. All right, because institution of marriage demands that you embrace someone else's imperfection. For those that come and say, I want to marry a tall guy, I want to marry a fair lady, you will keep finding. The one you find will end up frustrating you with something else. People are imperfect. Have your priorities. And when you see those weaknesses, ask yourself, are these things I can compromise and work on? And that will help us a great deal. Number 2. The strength of partnership does not lie in the absence of flaws, but in the presence of mutual respect and support. See, in this thing, you must find fault too. If you are in a relationship that is faultless, there is a problem somewhere. If you're in a relationship that your partner is doing everything right, there is a problem somewhere. Because they are human. We cannot be perfect. Something just has to be wrong somewhere. All right, so in this thing we are talking about, you understand that the strength of your relationship is in your ability to accept people's flaw and support them. You support them. That is what relationship talks about. People know their flaws. There are ladies you talk to and they tell you, say, I know I can't cook. They know they can't cook, and they tell you they can't cook. All right, and they know it's a limitation, but it's just them. There are people that they don't like to wash. They know they can't wash. So your question now is that you got married to this lady. Probably she never cooked for you before you got married, or she cooked only a few times. And you now get married and it's quite she doesn't like cooking. What is your assignment? You have some things you can help her out with. You don't lash her and start shouting, can't you see other people are cooking for their partner and this and that? No, you need to help. How can you help? If you're a good cook, if you're a chef, you can help her to cook. You can also help and bring her to people that can teach her how to cook. And if you know that cooking is not her thing, best case scenario, you get a chef. You are already married and in it. It's interesting when we tell people. You see, if you are married, you are married, and you don't leave married because of things you cannot change. You have to stay. You have to compromise. You have to sacrifice. So in the worst case scenario, if the person cannot be what you intended to be, you find an alternative. If I can get somebody that will be cooking the food I pay, you just need to find a way around it. But ensure that compromise is in your home. You must be able to deal with those flaws. If you're a man, some people don't like to wash clothes, and you complain every time the man wears clothes and dumps it for you to wash and everything. you must find a way. Either you get a washing machine or you hire somebody that washes clothes for you guys. There is always a solution to every problem. And you see, in marriage, these are the little details that crash many homes. You'll be amazed and that a lot of marriages, they don't crumble because of one mighty thing, high and mighty things. A lot of marriages crumble because of little details that people were not able to deal with. So you must be able to ask yourself, this is my partner's limitation. How do I come in? This is why you are in that marriage in the first place, to help that person become a better person. All right? So please, you're single, you're married, try to quit complaining. Once you're in that institution, the only question you keep asking yourself is, how can I help my partner become a better person? Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18. God says something very interesting there. He said, come now and let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are like crimson, they shall be as wool. God is inviting an imperfect man. He said, come, I want to help you. I want to change you. I want to bring out a better version of you. Let's just reason together. These are the realities of life. You know, marriage is about communication. You reason together. You understand your partner. And if both of you put your strength together, you can actually bring out beauty from ashes. Love is about finding someone who accepts and loves you fully despite your imperfections. Singles, listen to this. Love is about finding someone who accepts and loves you fully despite your imperfections. You are dating a guy and every time the guy is complaining about something and makes you feel bad of yourself. Haven't you seen people in relationships? And they will tell you this: I don't like the way he talks to me. When he talks to me, it makes me feel very low. You know, it makes you feel as if you're nobody. Then why are you in that relationship? You're in a relationship with someone that keeps reminding you that you didn't go to school, or you don't know how to speak English, or you don't know how to dress, and you call that a relationship? That is not a relationship. You must learn how to help yourself. Because true love is finding someone who accepts you foundationally for who you are, despite your imperfection. None of us are perfect. None of us. We all have our different levels of imperfection. And it will amaze you that when you come to every married person, they have something to talk about their partner, their good side and their bad side. There is no person that will tell you that there is something they don't really like about their partner. You cannot like everything about your partner. So you must find yourself in a relationship where people accept your imperfection, accept you for who you are, and love you the way you are. If they are going to help you in one way to become better, that is perfect. But please, never try to sustain a relationship with somebody who does not accept your imperfection. Once they are complaining about you, there is something. Someone is complaining that you talk too much, and you are still single. When you get married, that complaint will going to be times 5. All right? If somebody complains, any little detail they complain about you, you must be very careful not to put yourself into a relationship where for the rest of your life, people will keep talking down on you. Learn to say yes and give chance to people who accept your imperfection. It doesn't mean you're going to be imperfect forever. It means you're a work in progress. But even at the way you are, somebody has made a choice to love you. All right. So if you look through the scripture, you see Moses. I think is one of the interesting stories in the Bible. You know, when God called Moses to come and rescue the children of Israel from the hand of the Egyptians, Moses started giving excuses. You know, he told God, he said, God, you see, I am an outcast. I ran away from here. I am a murderer. I killed someone. I'm a stammerer. You see, he had his imperfections, but his imperfections were not enough to discountenance the plan of God for his life. Everybody have their own imperfections. But when you love somebody, because love is perfect, the love you have will discountenance those imperfections. When you love your partner, there are things she does. The Bible talks about Jesus. When he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion. When you see your partner doing something that isn't right, or something that, you know, that shows his or her weakness or limitations, let the love that flows through you embrace them. Don't make them look the way they are. You can make them be better. You can help them feel proud of themselves. You can help them be better than who they were. That is what marriage is all about. Now you can't say you're getting married and after marriage you are worse than who you used to be. After marriage you ought to be better than who you used to be. And that is why you need a partner who accepts you for who you are, who will accept your flaw, who will not judge you for your mistakes, for your errors, for your past. No, we tell the married people, forgiveness is a very important ingredient in marriage, and it is something that shows that you love your partner. When you can't forgive people, that means you don't really love them. Because a perfect love forgives, a perfect love lets go, a perfect love does not focus on people's imperfection, and you must deal with that. If there are things you don't like about your partner today, make a conscious decision. Say, I'm not going to be complaining about these things. I am making a choice to let go. I'm making a choice to let the perfect love that comes from within, overcome some of those barriers that is causing issues in my marital life. And I trust as you made this decision today, your marriage will be more blissful and blessed in Jesus' name. Relationships are not about changing each other, but about growing together, accepting each other's strengths and weaknesses. It's not really about changing people. As a matter of fact, you cannot really change someone. So what do? You learn how to grow together with that person. You learn. This is who your partner is. How do I grow with this person? When I talk to people, I always say these things. Like we are taught in business, the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. When you're into a relationship, you need to understand your partner's strengths and weaknesses. Understanding their strengths and weaknesses teaches you the things you should compromise and the things you should magnify. In marriage, you must learn how to compromise your partner's weaknesses and magnify your partner's strengths. In marriage, you must learn how to compromise the things that don't work and magnify the things that work. You must find a place in marriage where both of you enjoy some particular activities together. It might be watching film. Maybe that's the only thing that works in your marriage. Please, you guys, download more movies for you guys to watch. It might be gisting. Maybe that's the only thing that works for you guys. Please, any day you come back, get a gist for you people to talk about. It might be food. You guys, both of you like food. Just find interesting aspect of your marriage both of you enjoy. Magnify it, and learn how to compromise the things that don't work. If you keep focusing on things that don't work in marriage, your marriage will not get better. If you keep focusing on the things that work in marriage, your marriage gets better. If it's fashion, both of you should be fashionistas, all right? Wear things that you love, things that you admire, things that you cherish. Do the things that is fun for you guys. Do the things that you love about your partner. Magnify, and then let go those things that are not working. That is how you learn how to grow together. People say, hey, this person partner, he talks too much, he gets angry too much. Yes, your partner gets angry. So how am I going to grow together with him and deal with that anger? How will I grow together with him and not make him get angry? If this is the activity she does not like you indulging, that she does not like, how do I relate with her and grow with her so that I can deal with this issue? These are little details in marriage. If you don't take them serious, it can grow to a point that it can crash the marriage. Very important. So relationship is not about changing people in particular. It's about growing together and accepting your partner's strengths and weaknesses. There is no marriage that will not come through challenges. I had a program sometime. I invited a woman to come and talk, and in the course of the discussion, she said that she separated with her husband for 4 years. Yeah, they've been married for 25 years. Now, in the early years of their marriage, they separated for 4 years because there were things that she didn't like. They were not compatible, and she felt that this is not the marriage she wanted to step into. It's like they say, what you ordered and what you got. So what she got was not what she ordered. So 1-2 years after marriage, she said she wasn't in the marriage again. She left the man, and the man lived up his life. She lived up her life for 4 good years. They were not together. When she was talking, she said something that struck me. She said that she's thankful to God that by the time she came back, no woman has stepped into that home. Says she's grateful to God. By the time she came back, when you leave the marriage and you go outside the world to tell people your experience, you will be shocked that a lot of people are going through what you are going through, but they are still in their marriages. You will be so shocked. So by the time she went out and saw that it was not greener on the other side, she came back, and luckily for her, her husband was still there and waiting. And today they are 25 years married. What am I saying in essence? There is no marriage that will not go through challenges. There is no marriage that will not go through surprises. There is no marriage that will not go through shocks. At times, you discover your partner doing some things without telling you, and you'll be shocked that you are going through a process, but yet your partner has an I don't care attitude. And I think that affects men a lot. You see some of these men that they are going through financial pressure, but yet the wife has some thousands of millions of naira in their accounts. And you ask her, say, well, you need some money, and the wife will say, I don't have. In fact, the money I have is the money that I borrowed from mama, this one, and this one gave yeah, this one, and this one gave yeah. By the time they finish their story, at the end, they'll tell you they don't have money. And you get to discover that your wife actually has money, and you'll be like, what is this? You get, there are some others. Someone told me a story of how a woman went to pay the son's school fee and still had to tell them to ask the husband to pay the school fee, so when he pays it that she'll collect her money back. You get, so marriage will shock you and you'll be wondering, is it not the person I married? Why is the person being this way? All right, so you must understand that people have gone through these challenges and they came out of it. When you are settled in your heart that this is marriage and it's meant to be for better, for worse, you then have to look for a way to grow together, regardless your partner's limitations, your partner's barrier, and whatever your partner is doing, in their life. If you stick together, someday you will outgrow some of those challenges and marriage will get better and better. And I believe that's the food for thought for someone. All right, it's not about finding someone who loves you. It's about loving them for who they are. You see, a lot of people, when you ask the single ones now, what are you looking for in marriage? Everything they are saying is about what they want. An average young lady will say, when you ask a young lady, what do you want in a man? She'll say, I want somebody that is God-fearing. I want someone that is gainfully employed. I want somebody that is tall, someone that is not stingy. Some of those really free. People keep saying things they want, but they don't actually say things they want to give. Ask a lady, what kind of person do you want to marry? And the lady comes and says, I want to marry a man that can help his vision. A man that has an idea that I can actually put in my wisdom, what I know, to help him become the best he can be. I want to marry a man that can help to know God better. I want to marry a man that can inspire to become the best he can be. I want to marry a man, even if he has a business, my coming into his life will, make the business blows up. You rarely hear such a thing from someone. You ask a guy, what kind of lady do you want to marry? First of all, say, I want to marry a submissive wife. Man, every man wants a submissive wife. All right. But you don't look at it that you want to marry a woman who you love so much, so good that she will make you her word. So when you talk about getting married as a single, ask yourself too, what you are coming to offer in that marriage, because that's the best part of marriage. Not just people coming to compromise your flaws, but you coming to help people compromise their own flaws and coming to help them to become the best they can possibly be in life. So that is one of the best parts of relationship, coming into the life of people, thinking how to help them become better. A particular scripture we all know, John chapter 3 verse 16, says, for God so loved the world that he gave. You want to get married, what are you bringing? If I ask you now, some of you will get angry with me. But what are you bringing to the table, Sha? What are you bringing to the table? All right, you want to get married, what are you bringing to the table? It's not a question you ask people that go on a date. I used to catch on with that statement, but it's not a question you ask people on a date, but it's a question you should be asking yourself as a person. You are single and you want to get married, and you're not asking yourself, what am I? You go to an organization to look for a job and they invite you for an interview. They are asking you a question, what do you have to offer this organization? Are you coming here because you want to earn a good salary, or are you coming here because you have something that will make this organization in a better position? So singles, ask yourself, what do I have that I'm bringing into marriage? Are you married? Ask yourself, what do I have to make my marriage better? We must ask ourselves. We should get rid of this mindset. It's always about what I'm here to benefit. You just want to marry a man that is romantic, that calls you every day when he goes to work and you go to work. He normally calls you by 12 noon and by 2, have you eaten, darling? You want to marry a man, it's just about you. My dear, you are selfish. Should I repeat it? You are selfish. We must outgrow that level and ask ourselves, if I love this person so much, so good, what am I bringing to the table? What am I in this marriage to offer him? What am I in this marriage to offer my children? What am I in this marriage to offer my society? In fact, your marriage can be a testament to people living around you, that they make your marriage a testament of how a good marriage should look like. Let's have this at the back of our mind. All right, a lasting relationship requires love. And what is love? And when you say that love is perfect, that means love is commitment, love is patience, love is ability to forgive others, love is ability to grow together. If your marriage will last, see, love here is not a feeling. Feelings die. Feelings die. In fact, sometimes in marriage that you don't even have the feeling, but you love the person. Because love is a choice. I told you a story of the woman that used to carry her husband when he's on colos and he's misbehaving. She didn't like the feeling. It is frustrating. It's embarrassing. But because she loves the man she got married to, she will still go and pick him up and bring him back home. Love is forgiveness. Love is commitment. These are what love is. And this is why love is perfect. That when you get married and your partner is misbehaving, the only thing that can sustain that marriage is the love you have for them. The only thing that breaks that marriage is that you cease to love them again, because love in itself is perfect. Apostle Paul was speaking, says, here comes hope, faith, and love, but the greatest of these three is love. Love never fails. And that is why I wonder, when people get married and they are taking divorce as an escape route, that means they are not being made perfect in love. Because once you are made perfect in love, you keep finding the best way to bring out the best in your marriage. Regardless how bad your partner is, you can actually do something. Over time we've heard people teach, on the only ground that you should be thinking of leaving your marriage should be on the ground of physical abuse, something that puts your life at risk. But you see, people come today, and why are you not married? Say we are not compatible. Some women will call their man 2 minutes man. So because you're not sexually satisfied, you are quitting the marriage because you are going to look for sex elsewhere. Some men quit the marriage because they say she cannot cook. Because she cannot cook, now you want to go and find somebody else that can cook. Is that sufficient to leave home? It's not. It's not. Those are stupid reasons for people who are selfish and who don't understand what institution of marriage is. Institution of marriage is an invitation to sacrifice, to compromise, and to forgiveness. And institution of marriage is an invitation to fill in the gaps. We are into filling the gaps. Do you know that there are marriages that is the man that cooks in the house? Do you know there are some marriages that is the man that cleans the house? Do you know there are some marriages is the woman that pays the bill? But you are there, you are saying my money is my money, his money is our money. Can you just stop being a witch in your marriage? And this is what we have been called to be sacrificial. This is what we have been called to be, to occupy each other's weaknesses. The Bible tells us in Amos chapter 3 verse 3, can do work together except they be agreed. You must come to that place of agreement. You must come to that place of compromise. You must come to that place of acceptance. Because the goal of every relationship is to build a life with someone who makes your imperfection to seem perfect. To build a life with someone who makes your imperfection to feel perfect. Someone you are comfortable with, regardless your limitation, regardless your barriers. Someone you are not careful to talk, because when you talk, he will say you are talking too much. Someone you are not careful to come back by 7 p.m. because once you come back by 7 p.m., she will start calling you by 5. Where are you? What are you doing there? You don't put your husband under threat. The Bible says that it's better to live on the rooftop than to live with a contentious wife. You must make your home homely for your partner, because love is perfect. If your home is not homely, then there is something wrong with the love you profess for your partner. If your marriage is not at peace, then there is something wrong with the love you profess. There are some men that can't take care of the children at home, and they are telling the wife, you must be around, you must do this, you must do that, and the man is nowhere. And do you think that your only responsibility in a marriage is to bring money in the home front? That is one of the responsibilities. You have every other thing that you are required to do in your home. Help your wife. Help your wife. Like the normal phrase we normally say, they say her place is in the kitchen. Alright, yeah, we know that woman prepares food. You marry a woman that can cook food for you and do all that. What if you marry a woman that cannot cook? Will you abandon her? Will you divorce her? Will you now start looking for a second wife because a wife cannot cook? That is selfishness. Alright, so let's understand today that people are imperfect. And when you're coming into this institution called marriage, you are coming in to join your life with a man and a woman that is not perfect. So when you get married and their characters start coming out and they start exhibiting those traits, you are not shocked, because you understand there is only one person that can be perfect in this whole world, and that person is God. And because you have the love of God in your heart, you make a choice to show that love to them, that even in their imperfection, your love has to be perfect. Learn how to love your partner. Learn how to be the best you can possibly be in the marriage. Learn how to fill in the gaps for them. Learn not how to talk about your partner to a third party. Don't go to your office or go to somebody else and you are telling them about the weakness of your husband or your wife. Learn how not to do those things. Because love is sacrifice, love is commitment, love is compromise, love is forgiveness, love is embracing people's imperfection. It's not everyone that will be there for you at every time. It's not everyone that can give you everything you need in a marriage. But regardless the position who you marry, learn to love them and be the best you can be for them. And I think with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince us and not to confuse us that love is perfect. And that if you are a single person, quit searching for a perfect woman. quit searching for a perfect man. I know someone that has been looking for a perfect person and the person is still single to tomorrow because they've not realized the fact that nobody born on earth, born of a woman, is perfect. So quit looking for all those Mr. and Miss Perfect. Quit looking for that bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. Just open your mind open and pray for God to lead you to the right person. And when you meet that right person, settle it in your heart. Though you look right, though you seem right, though you feel right, but I know that you have your imperfection. And if I'm coming into this institution called marriage, I am coming with a determination that I'm going to compromise this imperfection, that I'm going to show my love to help you, even in those things you cannot do for yourself. I am bringing myself and everything I can offer to make this marriage work. Thank you, every one of you, for being with me here. I want to encourage us to go out there and trust God. Even if you are going through storms in your marriage at the present time, trust that God will bring peace to your home. Ask God, Father, how do I deal with this situation? I know there are some things that they become too heavy, overbearing, that you might find difficult to compromise or to let go. There are actually times in this marriage that all you need is to get some space and talk to God. That God should just help you to go through this process. At times it's not easy, because it's easy for us sometimes when people come to talk, but in practical terms, people are hurt, people are disappointed. People, you find somebody you love so much hurts you, all right, and you are struggling to forgive or to let go. When you find yourself in that spot, just rely on the Holy Spirit. Tell God to help you. All right, there are things in marriage that nobody can advise you. There are things in marriage nobody can counsel you. It only comes by the conviction and by the help of the Holy Spirit, and He's always there to help. He is there. He will never leave. He will never forsake you. You are going through storms now, but if you keep up and trust God in the process, God will bring you through it. But I want to encourage you, while you are trusting God in that process, make a commitment that you are going to love your partner. And for those that are single, I trust God that God will bring the right man, God will bring the right woman. As you begin to practicalize some of these things we teach on a monthly basis, and you implement them in your own life, you attract the right people. You attract. Now I saw that video of women that wore clothes and wedding clothes, and they were praying. And I put a message on my Facebook. Everything is not about prayer. At times, it's some of these little details that when you do them, people observe you. Just like this lady went to fetch water, and the servant of Abraham was observing her when he asked her to give him water and give the camels water. And it's some simple act of kindness, of gratitude that you do that might attract a relevant order into your life. So take your life very seriously. Take your action very seriously. Be mindful what you do in the public space. Be mindful what you post on social media. Be mindful the kind of pictures you put out there. Because men might not tell you, but they are evaluating your personality by the things you push out to the society. As you take note of these little details, I pray that God Himself will perfect every home, God Himself will perfect everyone, and you come out with testimony that you have a successful home. God bless you until I see you once again next month, the month of October, very last Saturday, for another fresh topic. This is me, Impacttouch, signing out, embodying the endless glamour of love. See you next month. God bless you.